Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Live from iRacing's Virtual Road America in virtual Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Welcome, sim racing fans, to the next round of the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship live on Apex Racing TV. Happy that you all could be here on this beautiful Friday afternoon, wherever you're tuning in around the world. I'm your host, Joshua Lee. Alongside me in the commentary booth is Andy Thompson, with Samuli Kumo down in the virtual production trailer, giving you all the wonderful camera shots and overlays here from virtual Elkhart Lake. We are excited for the next round of the championship, and Andy, the battles for the points standings just keep to mature and develop as we go through the middle portion of this calendar. We're coming off an amazing race from Virtual Road Atlanta, expecting a lot of the same as we go just a little bit more to the north from Georgia to Wisconsin here at Road America.
Yeah, definitely. Good evening, Josh, and good evening, all our viewers. You know, one of the iconic tracks of iRacing Road America. I don't think there's any iRacer that doesn't love this track coming around, and I think certainly this car here is made for this track. You know, you haven't got all the mod cons of the GT3 GTE cars, so it's the purest car around what is an exceptional track. You know, you got fast corners, slow corners, technical parts of this track. I think this track ticks every single box for every single corner, and like you were saying, Josh, you know, the championship is now heating up. We're over halfway through the championship as we stand, and everything's heating up as we look at the standings here. Bo Albert taking a bit of a commanding lead at the moment at the top of the pro standings, with Roger Christensen just behind him on 328. But Bo Albert has got a pit lane start tonight, so he's going to be starting from the back of the field, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do in that first race.
Roger Christensen, of course, sitting there in second place. He has his teammates Gatterstad and Wangen back from there as well. 3 Fox Gaming drivers, 2, 3, and 4. Bo Albert for Logitech G Altus Esports and Luke McGowan also for Logitech G Altus Esports sit 1st and 5th right now on the standings. We'll see if any of them are going to swap around here this afternoon. AM Championship taking a little bit of a different approach is Martau and Porter for Team Shazoo, and a Privateer in Porter currently are within 14 points of each other at the front. Porter looking for some more points to get up into the points lead as Keo Tiago Martau sits in the lead currently. Meisner, Stollinger, and Hynet definitely are not too far behind. They will have an opportunity to catch up here this afternoon at the Virtual Road America. Only about 14 corners to this course. Relatively simple when you really look at it, Andy, but it can become challenging. A lot of slow corners, a lot of heavy braking zones, and just certain corners that you need to get right, or your lap time or your battle that you're having with another car is going to go the wrong way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's corners on this track that certainly can catch your drivers out. And also, you know, it's going to be that hectic, fast lap 1 issues again. You know, you got the corner like turn number 5, the sharp left-hander after the extremely long straight down the Moran sweep. You've got the kink, you know, are the drivers going to be brave enough to try and hold it through full throttle through that corner? And then you got the famous Canada corner coming down the end after the kink. So there's another, you know, part that you normally have slots. In this corner we're watching at the moment, turn number 1, extremely fast off to the rather long start-finish straight, and then trying to tackle that first corner to keep it good. So certainly plenty of places on this track for lap 1 incidents, and hopefully the drivers keep it nice and clean this time on lap 1.
On board with Impulse Racing's Max Kessler. So he currently sits P2 on the board, and looks like taking a better flying lap is currently the Fox Gaming driver. That just went right on by him. And 3 Fox Gaming cars getting lined up as well. You can see actually 3, I believe, in a row here of 4. You can see all 4 of those pink Fox Gaming drivers ahead of this group. As we go on board with Christiansen, it looks like he's leading the brigade of the Fox Gaming drivers using pink cars for the month of October. Of course, you can, of course, catch Christiansen and Jovigard Gatterstad in the Porsche Contender Series as they try and qualify for the Porsche Tag Heuer Esports Super Cup. The other 2 Fox Gaming drivers currently not in that series, but they are here tonight. That is Wangen and I believe 1 other Fox Gaming drivers being Kim Strom, just recently joining onto the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship at Road Atlanta. They have yet to put in a flying lap time, but all these drivers currently running in a bit of a line. As Gatterstad going to overtake one of his Fox Gaming teammates as he sits on the top of the board right now, 2:07.06. But most notably, we have not seen either of the Altus cars, Luke McGowan and Bo Albert, put in a time. We won't see Bo Albert put in a time with a pit lane start, but we'll see what Luke McGowan is going to have to try and contest with these Fox Gaming drivers. It has been the story of Altus and Fox Gaming throughout the beginning portion of this championship, and I don't think that is going to stop anytime soon, Andy.
No, definitely not. And this is the advantage of having teammates playing with you, so you can actually play the draft game, as we see a perfect illustration there, you know, with Gatterstad getting a really good run up into turn 1 from I think it was Kim. I think it was that? No, it wasn't. I'm not saying it was Roger Christensen there, giving him a good toe off the start-finish straight into the first corner. So that's where the teams come really into their own, I think, at the moment. And obviously Luke's going to be out there on his own with, like you said, Bo Albert having that pit lane start, so he won't take part in the qualifying. So he's literally got to do it all on his own and try to get up there with the Fox Gaming crew that have 4 cars in this qualifying. But a newcomer to the grid, as we see there in second place, Matthias Berg of iRacing, you know, having an exceptional first outing here, getting second at the moment on the grid.
Great run to start off the day for Matthias Burke. We'll see if that'll continue into the races now. A lot of people will remember, of course, we had a heat and constellation system in the first couple of rounds of the championship, but not anymore. We are now going to the traditional Porsche Tag Heuer Esports Super Cup sort of format of we have qualifying, then we have our first race, and then we have a second feature race after that one. Everybody will make it into the feature, and we do have an inverse number, which is 13. So that means that the top 13 going into the feature will be inverted. Can't really call it a sprint and a main race because they are both the same amount of time, 25 minutes. So we'll have Heat 1 and the feature, and that is what we will race tonight. But everybody makes it into the first heat, everybody makes it into the feature, and that is how we are going to go racing here tonight. Great to see the format change. That really brings just a bit of added pressure. You're always going to have every driver on the track. It's nothing of, oh, I'm worried about getting eliminated in the constellation. It's more of, oh, I'm worried about getting a bad starting spot for the feature, especially with that invert. If you are up at the front of the heat race grid, you're going to be starting about mid-pack here at Road America when you were starting about in the back end, the tail end of the pack at Road Atlanta with how steep that inverse was. Some of these drivers got to keep in mind.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and that's the big thing of the feature race. You know, the front runners will be getting out on the first race and have the most clear track, but then they'll find themselves in the mid pack for the second race. So they have to contend with all the AM drivers that will be around them at that time. So it's a completely different aspect to the race, and it throws a bit of a spanner in there because they won't get it all their own way. You know, we normally see a couple of incidents coming into that first corner on pretty much most races. You come in that tight right-hander where you do see a lot of incidents. So, you know, they've got to contend with that, keep it nice and clean, and remember that it's a 25-minute race, so it's certainly not won on the first lap.
Definitely not won on the first lap, but it definitely can be lost on the first lap. We have seen that plenty of times before in the iRacing service. Getting ready to take the green flag here for the heat race, as handful of drivers will be starting from the pits, most notably Bo Albert. How quickly can Bo Albert work his way up through the field in this first 25-minute race? We are ready to go. All 31 drivers will line up for the green flag. Top 13 finishers from this heat will be inverted before we go racing in the feature race tonight. But heat number 1 is ready to go. Joe Vagard-Gotterstad is going to walk away with the pole position. Matthias Burke in his first start here in this series. Great qualifying effort from him. He starts P2. Max Kessler, Roger Christiansen with Chris Shorter, your top 5. Luke McCowan, Kim Strom, Damian Harris, Scott Mokes, and the first of our AM drivers, Yannick Heinet. So we'll start in P10. Thomas Wangan, Just Joe Montes, your top 12. Back from there, it's Mikey Pollard, James Parker, and Dennis Meisner, top 15. Jesse Hialaho with Martin Spalek, Henning Stuhlinger, Ross Dunstan, and Cesar Cabral, the top 20. Craig Salter, Marcel Fritsch, Dave Chadwick, and Bo Albert. He starts from P24 with the pit lane start. Thiago Martel will start P25. Daniel Porter, Adam Starzinski, Gordon Oberman, Nikolay Polyakov, Emil Vimbo, and Austin Neal round out the 31 drivers who are ready to take the green flag here from Virtual Road America. Remember, everybody will advance from this heat race. Just the top 13 finishers will be inverted when we go racing in the feature race tonight. Fox Gaming at the front, Matthias Burke to the outside. Max Kessler up there as well for Impulse Racing. Then it's another Fox Gaming, another Impulse Racing driver. First, you have to go to 6th place to find the first Logitech G Altus Esports machine, and that is Luke McCowan. How quickly can Bo Albert catch up to the front of the field here in this first race of the night? Remember back to Road Atlanta. Started basically at the tail end of that field after, I believe, a top 26 invert, something crazy of that number. He started way in the back of that final race and ended up driving his way up to P2. What can he do here in the first race of the night from Road America? The revs are up and the green flag flies. We are racing from Road America. Great start for Gotterstad. He's going to get away at the front. Matthias Burke, Roger Christensen, Max Kessler, Chris Shore, the top 5. They all race to turn number 1, still side by side. Burke trying to cover off Christensen. Not going to be able to do so. He will as they go into the apex. Now here comes Kessler to fight with Christensen. Can't do it. Car around in the back. That's Thomas Wangen for Fox Gaming. And more go spinning into the wall. One driver getting damaged at the 170 machine. More spinning as they enter turn 2.
Oh, complete carnage there coming around turn number 1, and I think it continued there going around turn number 3 as we see Chris Shorter getting it wrong there in the car 133. So a lot of incidents there currently going around into the first corner, which is, you know, you normally come to see them on this track, but out in front we've got Gotterstad and Damien Harris taking a bit wide. Oh, we've got another spinner. Who is that? That is
Gotterstad, I believe. No, it's Strom. Kim Strom around. Both Impulse Racing drivers go around in turn 3. Multiple drivers around in turn 2. Damian Harris with more issues. We saw him go wide off of turn number 5, and he goes wide and into the grass and spins around in turn 6, and that was almost a rough rejoin. He's able to get it back going. It looks like Emil Vimbo getting caught up in a little bit of an incident there as he comes out of turn 6. Was not expecting that car right there in his windshield. But as we continue at the front, it's Gotterstad, Burke behind, Christensen, McCowan, and Joe Montes through all the carnage, up from P12 to P5. What a run for Joe Montes now in the 172 to work his way up and into the top 5. The battle for the lead continues as Gotterstad is up front. Matthias Burke, P2. They'll enter into turn 12, or into turn 14, or 13, excuse me, through the Bill Mitchell bend. Here's turn 14 on Road America. They'll go onto the front straightaway, complete the first lap as carnage at the start of this one. Andy, that's going to take a lot of great cars out, but it's given a bit of a gift to just Joe Montes up into the top 5. Kio Thiago Martau getting up a little bit more spots as well. I believe up 25 spots. Or up 13 spots from P25. Talking about Bo Albert, already up into P18 off of starting in the pit lane.
Yeah, definitely great starts there for them guys. Obviously profiting a little bit from the cars spinning, and sometimes it's actually not a bad idea if you're in the mid-pack sort of range to start in that pit lane. And I wonder if that was Martin Hughes' obviously tactic, because he didn't put in a qualifying time there, and he's come out and he's pretty much up to P14. So he has profited quite well off all the lap 1 incidents that we've had, but taking some of the big names and putting them back down the bottom. But Albert, obviously, as we saw in Road Atlanta, took it nice and easy on that first lap and then started to move up quite considerably. So he's probably employing that tactic, and probably his position is to try to get that reverse grid pole of P13. So, you know, as long as he gets that and above, he knows that he's going to be at the front end of the grid for the second race. And the guys at the front at the moment for the feature race will be sort of mid-pack. So, you know, he's probably playing this one a little bit more tactically than just trying to get up into that reverse grid and keeping it nice and clean. But it seems to be doing a great job at the moment, Josh.
There's that familiar orange and blue paint scheme of the Logitech G Altus Esports Porsche of Bo Albert. Up into P16, up 8 spots from where he started in the pit lane. He's with Thomas Wangen, who had a spin early on and battle for the lead. Just came over a new leaf as Matthias Burke is going to grab the lead away from Joe Vigard Gotterstad. The Manatee Racing 138 is currently showing themselves off at the front. First start of the season for Burke, and just takes the lead from one of the drivers who is trying to qualify for the Porsche Tactical Esports Super Cup, and is also beating his teammate who's trying to do the same thing in P3. Slipstream down the front straightaway. Does he take it to the outside? Yes, he does. Barely trying to get around his Gotterstad. Can't make it into the apex, and Burke is going to hold on to the lead. He'll lead a lap on lap number 2. Time starting to get into the middle portion. We'll have 20 minutes to go here soon as Matthias Burke gets out to the lead, but they're starting to stack up behind. Here comes Christensen. Here comes McCowan to join the fight for the lead.
Yeah, looks like Matthiasberg took that position going down into Canada corner. They were actually starting to pull away the Berg and Goddestad, but obviously fighting now has brought them back into Alan Christensen, so there's a big long gaggle of cars here for that lead position now, so it's pretty much anyone's a game again now, but Matthiasberg doing an exceptional job for his first outing in this Porsche 922 and heading the field at the moment. Over the two Fox Gaming guys, Joe Goddestad and Roger Christensen in third place. So Fox Gaming still got a good showing at the front of the grid in second, third at the moment, and the Logitech G Ultra Esports of Luke McCowan there in fourth place at the moment.
Great effort from McCowan. We've seen great efforts from McCowan pretty much this entire season. He hasn't been quite as successful as his teammate Bo Albert when it comes to this series, but the only round of the pro class that has not been won by Bo Albert has been won by Luke McCowan. So Logitech G Ultra Esports, even though last week they lost their streak of overall wins in a row, they still have their streak of pro class wins in a row. So great to see from them. I believe last week grabbing that AM class win and the overall win was Kio Thiago Martau. Great effort from him to grab that top spot, as Road Atlanta really provided some exciting action in that final race. So hopefully we can rekindle some of that same magic here at Road America. Battle for the lead going to heat up again as they go down into one. Here comes Goddestad to the outside, door to door, side by side, even as they enter the corner. Powering on the inside and keeping the lead is Berg. Goddestad is going to overshoot the turn and almost into the tire barrier. He keeps it off of it, but a huge mistake for Goddestad. Going to put him down into P9.
Yeah, that was an overambitious move there going into turn one, going a little bit too quick into that turn and unfortunately getting pushed out wide, only from his own momentum outside wide, and obviously going down there into ninth place. So he's got it all to make up and pretty much off the lead now, but Roger Christensen has taken over that second place mantle and is literally just behind Berg, but not a great move there from Goddestad. So obviously trying to get that position round turn number one, but not quite getting it done. But we've still got Matthiasberg heading this field, his first outing in this Porsche 922 car, doing an exceptional job, just keeping Roger Christensen slightly at bay, but they're all sort of lining up behind him at the moment. As we see, Yannick, I think he's a lapped car there, just getting a little way of Moats, and Moats managing to get the pass done, but already lapping the cars at the back of the grid. Oh, they're not. No, they're not, actually. I stand corrected. He is actually in 7th place, so that was for a position. There's my bad.
Yeah, for an overall position, but it's not giving Mokes any more gain towards his pro class teammates, as he will stay 5th in the class currently. Meisner leads the AM class. Highnet trying to catch up to Meisner to go fighting with in class. They are not transferring over classes with the overall positions. Remember, points are based on overall spots, but they have 2 separate points standing. So everybody gets points from the same overall pool, but they are split into 2 separate point standings. So you have the AM class and the pro class points standings that we are watching. And obviously we're going to see a lot more pro drivers up towards the front, but a good handful of pro drivers were either starting in the pit lane off the pit lane starts or got caught up in incidents early. As Christensen goes to the outside, Burke is going to barely cover off that spot. McCowan to the inside now, side by side. McCowan with a send into turn 3, and he is going to take over P2. Now he's going to be the latest driver to try and go fight with Matthias Burke. You know who I'm impressed with right now, Andy? ARA just Joe Montes. P4 gifted a healthy amount of spots off of the Rex on lap number 1. He's up here in the battle for the lead. McCowan's going to get aggressive forward in 5. Goes for it through the Moraine sweep. Can he clear him? Barely by inches, maybe a little bit of contact, but new leader Luke McCowan at the front of the field.
Oh, a little bit of a mistake there from McCowan that might give the opportunity to back to Matthias to try and get him back, but managing to recover and keep in that first position. But, you know, I thought there was a bit of deja vu there going around the first corner with Roger Christensen. Matthias trying to dive up on the inside, but backing out of it. Probably the wise move would have taken them both out, himself and Luke. So just biding his time at the moment. Just needs to keep it nice and smooth, and the opportunity will come, especially at that start-finish straight. You know, we can see the power of the slipstream in these cars, and that is an exceptionally long straight. So just needs to bide his time, stay right on his rear bumper, and possibly get the move done in turn 1. But Alan Christensen coming off worse. Well, sorry, Roger Christensen coming off worse there, trying the move that we saw the lap before from his teammate. Oh, it's a big one, and he goes off wide into Camden corner. That is going to be disastrous for Alan Christensen as he hits the wall.
Christensen goes way off the racetrack, completely misses the corner going into Canada corner, and he goes into the sand. Not sure if he has any damage to the front end of that machine, but that is disastrous for the Fox Gaming 171. Down from 2nd to 17th on the racetrack. One mistake can lead to huge implications, and we just saw it from Roger Christensen. Back up at the front, McCowan setting a 209 flat, trying to keep his speed at the front of the field. Matthias Burke gonna have to try and fight from P2 now once again, with ARA Just Joe Montes sitting in the wings in P3. This moves Meisner up into P4 as well. Great run for the M-Class driver. And continuing at the front, McCowan on the defense. He will not have any pressure from Burke going down into turn 5 this time. Let's see what Burke can do from 2nd place. You can see more drivers towards the back. That's Meisner, Mokes, Heinet, and Gotterstad trying to catch back up to this group as this lead 3 fights through turn 7.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit of a gap now between Germantis and Meisner, between 3rd and 4th. But, you know, I'll echo what you said. Germantis is doing an exceptional job, not really getting into the battle, but profiting a lot off of the incidents of the front runners that were coming off the track in front of him. But, you know, he's sort of like a changed driver at the moment with Germantis. You know, previous seasons when I've watched him, he was a very quick driver, but was really prone to spinning the cars. Something's changed within the last couple of seasons that he's been in, and he's become a more rounded racer, and we can certainly see that with the positions that he's starting to gain and doing an exceptional job at the moment in P3. But, you know, a big shout out to Meisner there, the top of the AMs in 4th, doing an exceptional job himself. So he's not got too much crap over Ignat there as watching on screen in 6th place, but certainly doing a cracking job at the moment, the top of the AM in 4th place. But, you know, looking further down the field, Bo Albert's now managed to get himself into that reverse grid spot. And Christensen's got it all to do now, currently still sat in P17 to try and get up into that reverse grid, and if he doesn't, he's going to find it hard at that back of that grid and the feature race, trying to get their positions up. So he's got it all to do after that horrendous incident there going down into Canada corner that slipped him from 2nd all the way down to 17th. So a lot of the front runners are really struggling in this race at the moment, and we can see him sort of mid-pack towards the end, just trying now to clamber into that reverse grid to try and rescue something from this event. But what it does do is it gives an opportunity for the guys that are normally mid-pack runners at the front of this race to get some really valuable points in the championship.
There's a lot of drivers currently in the mid-pack who got there based on either mistakes they made or incidents they were caught up in on lap number 1. As we take a look at the 4-car battle, that's Meisner, Mokes, Heinet, and Gotterstad at the tail end of this one, battling for P4 overall on the racetrack. 2 AM drivers are in this one, and the AM drivers are also denoted by the 2 at the front of their 3-digit numbers. So the 213 and the 237 being Meisner and Heinet. They are running in the AM class. Mokes and Gotterstad both running in Pro. They are the 110 and the 166 respectively as they race through the carousel, turns 9 and 10. And back onto the straightaway. They'll go through the kink of turn 11. then through Kettle Bottoms and into turn 12. These four running together right now are not gaining too much time on the three at the front. It's still McGowan and Burke and Joe Montes at the front. Let's see what Mokes can do to try and get around Meisner as they go into the corner. Peeking to the outside goes Hynet. Cannot do, or Mokes, excuse me, could not do anything to get past Meisner there. He'll stay right tucked in behind. So will everybody pretty much in this group. But Hynet's looking like he wants to get a little bit aggressive as he goes basically right on to the back bumper of Mokes in front. Up the hill they go on the front straightaway. Under 10 minutes to go as McCowan continues to lead the way. Down the front straightaway, will anybody think about making a move into turn number 1?
It's great battling here for P4 for Meisner, Mokes, Hugnet and Goddestad, all currently in a big line. Go 2x2 into the first corner. So Mokes just need to be careful going on that outside, managing to keep it really nice. But, you know, Meisner now is getting a little bit caught up with these pro drivers, and obviously Hugnet getting through there, in 5th place. So he takes the top spot in the AM. So Dennis Meisner get a bit offline there through turn number 1, not the optimal line, losing a lot of speed. And at the moment, it looks like Hignet has got a lot of speed on him, and he's basically troubling the 110 car at the moment of Scott Mokes. Has watched Dennis Meisner try to get down, to slip down the inside. Ooh, close to contact there, but I think that will compromise his speed, and we should see Goddestad take him. Managing to keep that speed coming through that corner off the end, but a little bit of a gap now between Hignet and Meisner appearing. These two, Mokes and Hignet at the front, just starting to pull away from these two behind, and they certainly got the pace, these two cars in the front at the moment, and Hignet not letting Mokes off the hook at the moment.
Now is definitely the time to get aggressive, because this is going to be the last handful of laps here in the first race of the day. If you want to either get a good starting position or get a lot of points off of this first race, you are going to want to start making moves now. Meisner, with that move, fell off a little bit. He still has Goddestad behind, but we know Jovigard Goddestad wants to go right on by this 213 right now. Just cannot get there and make that pass for P6 overall. Yannick Hynet staying in the middle of this group as well. Now trying to catch back up to Scott Mokes as they have drifted apart just a little bit. Mokes continuing to race from P4, Hynet P5. Here's the big slipstream of the front straightaway. Mokes going bottom to the top, trying to break that slipstream. Meisner going to use it to try and get by Hynet. He'll power around him past the front straightaway. Hynet will have to go into P6. Can Goddestad do anything about it now? To the inside for P6, and he's going to grab that spot. Goddestad trying to get back to the top 5 as Hynet falls from 5th to 7th in just about one straightaway.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's the little mistakes that are going to cost you the position, as we saw Hugnet there getting off turn 14, getting a little bit sideways coming out there, losing a lot of speed and lost 2 positions because of that to Meisner and Goddestad. But Goddestad now trying to recover from obviously his incident we saw going around that first corner, trying to take that first place off Matthias Burke on a few laps. Oh, as we see Dennis Meisner taking a little bit too deep there into turn number 5, and unfortunately losing 2 places himself now. So it certainly sees the driver making mistakes are the ones that are losing out in this battle here for 4th place. But what this is doing is letting Mokes get away from this group, so getting a little bit out front. But Goddestad will now be hot on his tail as we watch this battle at the moment for 8th place with Kim Strom and Mikey Pollard close on his tail.
And Strom faster than the drivers in front on the last time by the start-finish line. So Strom trying to catch up as well, join the battle in front of him. He has Mikey Pollard in tow. We'll see what that'll do. Inverse grid pole currently is with Thomas Wangen in P13 in that Fox Gaming machine. Take a look at who's about 2 positions ahead of him, though. Oh, yeah, it's the orange and blue machine of Bo Albert for Logitech G Altus Esports. So right now, he's sitting at a P3 starting spot for the second race. And Andy, you could put Bo Albert, like we saw last week, in the 20s, in the mid-20s, closer to the back, maybe in the 30s. And he'll find his way back up to the front. Third place starting spot for Bo Albert in the feature race tonight. It's a little bit stressful for Spalik and Wangen, who are going to be starting in front of him on the front row.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and even though he had a pit lane start, if you look at where he is in the championship, he's out front, and his rivals, you know, Christensen currently in P17 at the moment, so actually losing a lot of points again over to Bo Albert. So he's like the god of the racetrack. You know, even starting from the pit lane, he can still manage to outscore the points of the guys around him. As we watch here, Cesar Sobral with Porter getting on the inside around turn number 2. So he's going to be under a heavy pressure now from Christensen right behind him, and Harris is queuing up behind him as well. So he just needs to be aware of them drivers behind. Cars pretty damaged there, so been in a lot of incidents as that 170 car there of Cesar Sobral, but we see Roger Christensen getting up alongside him, so must have a bit of aero damage because he seems to be losing a lot of speed coming down there. So we'll see this braking zone of turn number 5. If he can manage to keep that position at the moment, he's going to lose out. He's keeping at the moment, but the cars behind him are literally queuing up to take him at any point. So Cesar Sobral pretty much got to play the defensive game at the moment to try and keep these 2 cars behind him.
Big scrap heap here with Cabral, Harris, and Christensen. Christensen, a bit of the odd man out when it comes to this group. Obviously had a mistake earlier on in this race. Put him back here, but hasn't been able to get around a lot of the drivers. And I hate to draw the comparison because, of course, 2 completely different things. Bo Albert climbing his way up through the field last week and here had a lot more drivers close to him and made the moves a lot faster. Christensen made the mistake about middle of the race when everybody had started to spread themselves out. But I do think it's worth bringing up how Bo Albert can almost effortlessly make it look pretty easy to work his way up through the field. As we see the 153 go to the inside, the 170, but Harris up in a P15 and Christensen up in a P16 as he goes side by side with Cabral. But I think it's worth bringing up, Andy, how Albert can work his way through the pack a little bit more easier than we have seen Christensen so far, than we have seen Wangen so far, than we have seen anybody else that has tried to go from the back to the front, work themselves up and into the middle of the pack. We haven't really seen anybody do it like Bo Albert has so far.
Definitely, and he's got a really big tactical brain on him. You know, he doesn't get caught up in the lap 1 incidents, which could damage his car and affect the rest of his race. He keeps it nice and clean, keeps himself out of trouble in them opening 2 laps. And then once the field is sort of spread out a little bit, like you were saying, he just picks them off one by one and gradually gets up there, as we see him currently in P11 at the moment. The only person in front of him that's close to him in the championship is Godestad, that's currently in 5th place, who's in 3rd place in the championship, 68 points off him at the start of this race. So he's not losing a lot of points considering he started from that pit lane start. And in this round, having that pit lane start after that start finish is quite a big hindrance to the drivers if you do get that. But you wouldn't see that from Bo Albert. You know, he's a consummate racer, and he knows exactly what he needs to do, where he needs to put that car to get the most out of it. As you currently watch the battle on screen with Wangen and Martin Spalnek here in 13th place. So Wangen not having the best round at the moment in this. The pro in 12th place at the moment, having the company of the amateur just behind him, right up tucked underneath his rear bumper. So Wangen not probably the best round that he's currently had within the championship, but 12th place is still not, and he will be starting 2nd on that reverse grid. So currently Martin Spalnek, there we see on screen, will be our pole sitter for the feature race, but Daniel Porter, the man behind him, I'm pretty sure, who is our 2nd place in the championship, will have something to say about that.
Across the line, I believe this time by white flag has been shown. Luke McGowan will be coming to the checkered flag. Yes, there it is. So he will be coming to the checkered flag this time by. Matthias Burke still within striking distance, about 2/10 back, but not close enough. And they're just Jomatas, since they had run away at the top 3, definitely starting to fall back a little bit as he sits in P3. Gotterstad and Mokes the top 5. Heinet, Meisner, Strom, Pollard, and Albert now your top 10. As Bo Albert moves his way up into the top 10 for the first time tonight. And there's that three-car mix of Gotterstop, Mokes, and Highnet. Gotterstop, for the first time, making his way to the front of this group as Mokes peeks to the outside. Not going to be able to get there by the apex and is going to stay in that 5th spot as they race back up the hill. Donnerstad keeping on to P4 and Highnet getting a little bit aggressive as well. Highnet, the first driver in this field of the AM class drivers. As drivers shuffling positions further back, and issue 4 drivers go around. Christiansen's in it. Spalik, Cabral is in it as well. I believe Daniel Porter and Damian Harris in this one as well. But at the front, Matthias Burke has an opportunity to walk away with the heat race victory. Question is he gonna go for the move? Here comes the defense from Luke McCowan. Burke's gonna step out. He'll have the outside line going into Canada corner. This is for the heat win. Checkered flag will be out this time by Har on the brakes. Go both of the drivers. McCowan's gonna hold on to the lead. Burke's gonna hold on to P2. Can anything happen as they go through Bill Mitchell Bend, turn 13 into 14 and onto the front straightaway. Burke's gonna step to the outside. It's not gonna be enough. Tries the crossover. He has momentum. Can't take it. McCowan is hard on the defense. And up the hill they go. Logitech, G-Altus Esports, and Luke McCowan win the first race from Road America.
That was an extremely close Berg. Obviously had a really good run off that last corner and did very well. Jamantis, did he run out of fuel? Oh no, absolute disaster at the end there. In a comfortable 3rd place and finishes in 8th. He'll be kicking himself. It looked like he ran out of the fuel there. So Goddestad had been promoted to 3rd place after his spin in the first corner that saw him plummet down the field. So a gift there for Goddestad in 3rd place. And Albert moves up into 10th. So he managed to get from back in the grid up to 10th place. So we'll be starting 4th on the grid for the feature race. But wow, controversy there a little bit at the end, and Jamantis will be kicking himself for not having enough fuel for that to get it. That 3rd place was his, you know. No, I feel terrible for him.
And what a wild way to end that heat race anyway, with the incident we saw down in turn number 5. Multiple drivers getting into each other, making contact, and goes to show one simple mistake can make a lot of drivers very unhappy. Here is the replay as they all go down into turn 5. Damian Harris in the middle. He makes contact with Spalik. They go sliding into 2 more drivers in front of them. That was contact between 2 drivers that very quickly became a 6-car incident here, as it was just an accordion effect from there, Andy. Everybody slamming into each other.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the aspects of this track is turn number 5. You know, you have one car having an incident, and then it can cascade into so many different cars. It just gets horrendous. We see there, you know, first Harris makes contact, and yeah, it's just literally taking each other out. But you know, taking out one of the championship contenders there, obviously Alan Christensen, absolutely had a disastrous round in that one, and he doesn't even feature into the reverse grid, so he's going to find it extremely hard for this feature race.
Reverse grid pole goes to Wangen at the end of that heat race. Luke McCowan, Matthias Burke, Jovigard Gotterstad, Scott Mokes, Yana Kynet, Kim Strom, Dennis Meisner, Ergis Jomontes, Mikey Pollard, and Bo Albert. Your top 10 from that heat race. Stullinger, Martzau, Wangen will round out the inverse grid. Then Dunstan, Spalik, Starzinski, Christensen, Cabral, the top 18. 31 drivers took the green flag there in the heat race, and Oberman, Porter, Fritsch, Salter, Chadwick, Harris, Hialaho, Parker, Wimbo, Kessler, Shorter, Polyakov, and Neal, rounding out all the drivers from that first heat. Warm-up currently underway for the feature race. Gives us a good opportunity to step aside for a moment here on Apex Racing TV. Feature race time. When we come back, we go racing for another 25 minutes right after this.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala,
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Pekin Freeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke,
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong,
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
and many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Welcome back to Virtual Road America. You're tuning into live coverage to the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship live on Apex Racing TV. Getting ready for the second race of the day, myself, Joshua Lee, alongside Andy Thompson in the commentary booth with Simuli Kumo down in the virtual production trailer. And Andy, a lot of carnage, a lot of great battles, and ultimately a great finish that we saw in the first race of the night. Hoping we keep some of that same energy going into race 2.
Yeah, definitely, and it's going to be a different complete race in this feature race because we've got a lot of the faster drivers, you know, whether they had spin outs in the first race or incidents in the first race, or they were at the front of the grid towards the end there. They're now going to be in the mid-pack melee that is the Porsche Cup, so they're going to find it quite difficult to get away, but, you know, Bo Albert managing to get from a pit lane start up to 10th place will be at the front of the grid this time, so you know I would expect to see him trying to get out quickly at the start, and I can't see anybody catching him. You know, the rest of his contenders that are normally around him are all in this mid-pack fight at the moment, and you know, his nearest rival in the championship didn't even get into that reverse grid position as we saw there with that incident going down into turn 5. So, you know, he's got a lot to do to try and get it back up to a decent position for this feature race, but really looking forward to it, and some hot battles I'm pretty sure are going to be had in this second 25-minute race.
Same distance, but a lot more on the line as we get ready to go racing in the final race of the day. Who will walk away the winner from Virtual Road America? We're about to find out. The field will take to the grid. Thomas Wangan walks away with the pole position after finishing 13th in the heat race. After the invert, he'll be on the pole with Thiago Martau into his outside. Henning Stollinger with Bo Albert starting P4. That is going to be a bit of an intense run for Bo Albert. How quickly can he get up to the front? As Mikey Pollard, Erajus Joe Montes, Dennis Meisner, Kim Strom, Yana Kynet with Scott Mokes, your top 10. Jovagard Gotterstad, Matthias Berg, your top 12. Luke McCowan, your winner from the heat race, starts P13. Ross Dunstan, Martin Spalek, Adam Starzinski, Roger Christiansen, Cesar Cabral, Gordon Oberman, and Daniel Porter, the top 20. Marcel Fritsch, Craig Salter, Dave Chadwick, Damian Harris, top 24, with Jesse Heliaho, James Parker, Emil Vimbo, Max Kessler, Chris Shorter, Nikolay Popoyakov, and Austin Neal, the 31 drivers ready to take the green flag here in the feature race. Time to go racing from Road America. The revs are up. The green light is on. Let's go racing. It's feature time from Road America. And Bo Albert gets into one driver, I believe. Thiago Martao doesn't get off the starting line. He falls way down the order. Already almost to the back. Drivers going into the grass to avoid him. But up in front, Wangen gets the lead. Stullinger to P2. Albert, Joe Montes, and Strom the top 5 as they race through turn 3.
Yeah, that was an absolutely horrendous start there from Martinu, getting it all the way down to P24. So must have had some sort of issue off the line there, or spun it up. But as we see the carnage that ensues behind him, as we see a car right off the back of the field, getting it wrong round into turn number 3. But you know, a lot cleaner than the first race, a lot less incidents, but 2x2 wide now coming into turn number 5 as we see Scott Mokes on the inside, Mikey Pollard just in front of him. Joe Goddestad mixed up in this at the moment, so not made any real moves at the moment, only where he started off in P10, so fighting out this mid battle. As we see one of the Fox Gaming behind, just going off, it's Christiansen. Absolute carnage coming off turn number 5, and we see there, oh no, is that Luke McCowan as well off on the left hand side? Oh no. Oh, and Matthias. Oh, again. Oh, watch out, Luke. That was close as we see. Who's that? That is Dave Chadwick of Performance League Esports, just getting up in between the middle of them. But big runners again there on lap number 1, getting into little incidents that are going to put big pace to the championship at the end of the day.
And once again, Burke and McCowan, the two drivers who battled for pretty much the entire second half of the heat race. As we see Henning Stullinger losing a bit more spots, and I believe Cabral just got into an incident with Porter and Parker. Oh my! Cabral is upside down. James Parker involved in this one. I believe Daniel Porter involved as well, as drivers trying to avoid, barely avoiding. I believe that was Luke McCowan that just made contact with Cesar Cabral. More trouble on the opening lap here in the feature. Let's take a look. Oh, drivers getting involved, and my goodness, Cabral, a hard hit into that Michelin machine. I believe that's Porter in the 248. It was hard contact. Yes, it was. It was Porter who went spinning through the bend of turn 11 and then just tries to lock it up, get the car gathered back up, and slams into two other drivers in the kettle bottoms to give us another incident. As we now take a look at the battle for the lead, here comes Bo Albert. Like a shark, Jaws music can be heard inside that 116. To the outside goes Albert. Can he complete this pass? He's still gonna be side by side. Can he make it work? Yes, he can. And Bo Albert to the front as Wangen, Jomontes, Strom, and Meisner the top 5. Gonna have to chase down the Logitech G Altus Esports machine, trying to keep the momentum going for Altus and keep the train going of 5 consecutive pro class wins for Altus.
Definitely a great move there around turn number 5, getting the move done. So now out in front again. Oh, another spin there from, it's not Roger, no, it's Thomas Wangen. So the Fox Game team not having the best around, and he's caught in no man's land at the moment. Gotta let everybody else pass him to come. They want to be coming on that track. So let's have a look at the start. Martin's car.
Yeah, we can see it here. So he was on the revs, goes up into first, and oh my, all wheel spin. That was very rough for Martao, and you can see it getting onto the grass as well, trying to get up through the gears. The tires just kept spinning, absolutely no grip on the start for Martao. That moved him all the way down the order. He currently runs P18. Let's see what else happened here on the start, because there was a good bit of beating and banging as they went into turn 5, but a tough start for Thiago Martao and set him way down the order. Take a look at this. Strom in P2, trying to hold off Just Jomontes as he tries to chase him down. Scott Mokes down into P4. Henning Stullinger in P5 now as well, as the battle for the second continues. Strom looking to hold off Jomontes right now as Mikey Pollard battles with Starzinski, and looks like Starzinski might have gotten into an issue. He's off the racetrack.
and on his roof is Mikey Pollard there coming around turn number 3. So big incident between the two of them going around turn number 3. But Bo Albert managing to get out in front at the moment. And with Strom and Germantas fighting, it'd be an ideal position for him to try and get the gap. But as we watch the battle here for 10th place, looking at Wimbo and Dustain with Hogan at the top of the AMs at the moment. Meisner just taking over the top of the AMs in P6 over Stettlinger, but there's a big long train of cars here all the way down from probably P6, maybe even higher than that, going all the way down to sort of like P16. So big long train of cars, and as we saw there coming through that kink a few laps ago, very easy to do. One car gets it wrong and unfortunately he's going to collect a lot more cars behind him. So I think that's the game you play when you try to get the flat out speed through the kink, and trying to do a defensive line in there is probably not the best place. We've got on board with Yannick Kinnick in 12th place, trying to get a pass done on Ross Dunstan in front of him in P11. Battle for the 3rd place in the AMs at the moment, coming down into Canada corner. So he's going down the inside, not quite getting the space to get it done, so getting back online and just getting back in order. But as you can see in front of him, a massive line of cars that we've currently got at the moment here, all the way up to around about P6.
You're on board at the 237 at the moment. 6.5 minutes down as Heinen gets turned. A little bit too much on the throttle through the final corner. Sends the 237 around to Yannick Heinen. And down now into P19. Kessler with a bit of an issue as well. He's slowed down the front straightaway. Cars going around him. Not sure if there's an issue with that machine or if he might have lost a bit of momentum after something similar through the final corner that just happened to Heinen. Let's take a look. Heinen goes around. Oh, got into the grass, and oh my, what a save! He avoids going into the pit lane, takes a trip through the grass and back onto the front straightaway. But what a save to keep it off the tire barrier.
I mean, that was an amazing save. I thought he was in the barrier for sure, but great bit of off-road racing there, and managing to keep it nice and clean. As we see here, Damien Harris having a little bit of an issue coming out of turn 5, and Adam Stuttlinger just right behind him now, and having to play real defensive to just hold his position. So must have had a big issue there coming down into P5. But top of the AMs at the moment, as we see at the front of this, is the 213 car of Meisner in 6th place. Christensen trying to get back something from this race, has managed to make his way up to P number 7 at the moment. And as we look on the screen at the moment, we've got a battle here between Shorter and Dustain, just behind him in P12. So there's these little mini battles now starting to come alive in this feature race of the second 25 minutes. We're only 8 minutes into this and we've had so much happen so far. As we see Wimbo going really wide off the kink, managing to hold it, coming down here into Canada corner. So I bet his heart was in his mouth at that point, because it's so easy. And
oh, Mokes in the wall. That is a hard hit for Mokes going into Canada corner through the sand. That is so unfortunate for Mokes as well. One of his best races here at Road America, Andy, is going to unfortunately end like that. It doesn't look like a ton of damage to the front, but P13 now for Mokes after a good effort in the heat race.
Yeah, you lose so much time if you come off this course. I mean, we saw there the two cars coming off this corner around turn 14. You lose the speed up here, and you just see them plummeting down the field. So, you know, it's not only just coming off and getting the damage to your cars, it's the fact that you're going to be losing a truck ton of time when you come off at any part of this course, because it's such a fast course, you know, and it really affects, as we see there, going 3 wide into turn number 1. Oh, Max Kessler there on the inside of him was Hiliharo and Obermann, all 3 of them, but managing to feed their way through into turn number 1, and we have Matthias Berg not having the best of second round to second place finisher in the first race, currently down in P18. So I had that little incident we saw earlier on with the Ultra Esport driver that's put him right down the field now, and he's battling hard between the rest of the AM drivers as we watch Max Kessler trying to get up the inside here of Shorter. Quite getting it done, but we'll have that inside line. Oh, bit of argy-bargy here coming into turn number 6. We'll have that inside line. Is he going to get it done? Oh, car top 229 stopped right in front of them. Wow, okay, that would have given a heart-stopping moment there.
That was Henning Stuhlinger that went off in that corner, turn number 5. Matthias Berg trying to get back up to the front. He makes a bold move on Hiliaho to go right on around, and it's going to work as Berg going to cover off that spot, put Berg back up into P15. After starting P12 with the inverts, finished second place in the heat race. Trying to work his way back up to the front after contact with Luke McCowan a couple of laps ago. Working lap 5, 15 minutes left as Wangen goes way off track and into the grass. Gets it back onto the tarmac, but down to the inside goes McCowan. He's gonna barely cover off that spot by just a couple inches as Oberman now goes off in Canada corner.
Yeah, and obviously we see on screen there Thomas Wangen having a bit of connection issues, so it won't be very good for Luke McCowan behind him trying to take him. You know, a car in front of you just going on and off the track like that, it can certainly put you off. So he'll be fighting to try and get past Thomas Wangen as soon as he physically can, because it's nothing worse when you're trying to race and the car is flicking in front of you. So be trying to get past him as soon as he physically can. So trying to make a move up here on the inside into turn 1. And same with Matthias Berg trying to do the same move, and I think they're probably going to get it done here. Luke McCowan and Matthias Berg moving up one place each, respectively, and just trying to get the back up, but they're still not far apart from each other. So I expect by the end of this race, these two will be doing a lot of door banging between the two of them.
They race back under the Sargento Bridge, down the straightaway here, through the Moraine Sweep, down into 5. Almost door banging is Hiliaho with McCowan. McCowan making a look to the outside. Where did Wangen come from? Down the middle. Where did McCowan come from? Wangen makes contact with Burke, sends him into the grass. Here comes Luke McCowan to join the fight, forces his way to the inside, 3 wide, as Hiliaho tries to make it work on the inside. Everybody slamming into each other as they go 3 wide into turn number 7, down into turn 8, still side by side. It's McCowan trying to go around the outside of Hiliaho. He does exactly that. Burke now to the inside, contact. Burke is able to save it, can't get the spot, and here comes Yannick Heine to fight with Craig Salter behind, and I believe Stullinger just went around once again in the background.
I mean, that was just amazing racing, you know, side-by-side action through some of them really fast technical corners there, and managing to keep the car on track. Obviously a lot of door banging there, but you know, you would expect that racing so hard as these guys are. But you know, fantastic bit of racing as we watch them come down into Canada corner, and Hiliaho is sort of had a second wing here and saying to the other guys, no, you're not going to get away from me, and if you give me the option, I'm going to come back at you, and doing a fantastic job here fighting with McCowan. Oh, he goes a little bit wide there and loses a bit of the time, as he says, and Burke managing to get past him. So Burke and McCowan battle is soon to be on as we see Yannick Hickert coming into the pits, maybe under fuel there. It doesn't look like there's much damage to his car.
Could be a hidden damage flag as McCowan makes more contact with Wangen. McCowan's gonna lose it into the grass. Burke swerves to try and avoid it, and he does, but McCowan loses even more spots. Gonna move his way down into P18 as things get even more hectic here from Road America. We're gonna have about 11 minutes to go as Bo Albert leads the way by a good considerable margin as well over Kim Strom. McCowan continues to fight. Remember, these guys are fighting as Hiliaho locks it up going into turn 5. McCowan grabs the spot. Wangen, who leads this line, currently P15. Burke P16, McCowan P17, Hiliaho P18. They are fighting in the mid-pack. Goes to show, Andy, just how important every position is for the point standings.
I'm going to say that it sort of warrants the front of the race battle, the way these guys are actually fighting. You wouldn't believe they're only fighting over 15th place. You know, they're just changing and fighting all the way through, and I think that's one of the things out of this Porsche Championship is it doesn't matter where you are on track. You know, if you had a bad spin, you'll still find a decent battle throughout the 25 minutes, and I'm sure these guys will be fighting out, even if it is just for that P15 slot. It's just the accolade to say, I won that battle, guys. You know, even though it was 15th, I still won. As we see him coming down into Canada corner, we have Kessler, Wang at the front, Berg right on his tail, McCowan just behind him, and Hilly Harlow again. So it's going to be status quo coming up the start-finish line, and will be interesting to see what they can do coming into the first corner. But they're going to be all slipstreaming each other, and Wangan's at the front of this group with no slipstream, so it'll be interesting to see if he can hold off the winner of this battle at the moment, in P15 into the first corner. But they're all queuing up behind him to have a little shot at the 136 car there.
Here comes the slipstream of the front straightaway. Wangan goes to cover off the spot. McCowan's going to grab one on Burke. McCowan goes up into P16. Burke down to P17. Wangan still leads this group. Here comes Heliaho back to the inside. Can't make it work. Burke covers off that spot. As these four are starting to catch up with the two in front of them of Fritsch and Vimbo. We'll see if Vimbo and Fritsch are going to be joining this fight, or if these four are going to power right on around those two. As going on the defense goes Wangan at the front. McCowan chooses the outside, side by side. McCowan with the touch to the sand, trying to make it work around the outside. Still gonna have the outside here through the left-hander, but a right-hander is coming up. McCowan's gonna have the advantage through turn 7. Oh, and he makes contact! He sends Wangan into the tire barrier!
Oh, I think that was the dreaded thing. Oh, as we see Bert going off into turn number 8.
McCowan spinning as well!
Oh, no way!
Everything falls apart for this battle as Burke and McCowan go off track for the second time in this race.
You know, obviously Wangan was obviously blinking a little bit there, so maybe Luke McCowan didn't see him and unfortunately clipped him. But then you had McCowan and Burke having a little bit of a tussle again for the second time in this race, coming down the hill after that corner. So it'd be interesting to see a replay of that and see what actually happened. But Luke McCowan at the moment, obviously P16 just got Martin Spalek right in front of him. A little bit of a gap now, but that's a bit of a shame because that battle was absolutely brewing.
Here's a replay. Now Wangan gets the touch from McCowan there, sends him off into the tire barrier. What happened here? Oh, Heliaho made contact with Burke, who then made contact with McCowan. That was an accordion effect there, Andy. And unfortunately, it just involved two drivers who had already made contact in this race, being McCowan and Burke. But Heliaho looks like he got a little bit too late on the brakes, makes contact with Burke in front, who then gets sent into McCowan ahead of him.
I mean, it was a bit unfortunate as we see Burke in the pits there, so I think that puts paid to his race. But he has got a fast repair, so he should still be able to get out. But, you know, considering where he was in that first race, you know, himself and Luke McCowan certainly had a lot of battles there in that in this race here. Boo Albert at the moment still managing to keep out front, but not getting much of a lead over Kim Strom of Fox Gaming in second place. So pretty much Fox Gaming in this feature race are currently second, third and fourth, with Kim Strom, Joe Vergodestad and Roger Christensen trying to get back to a decent position in this second race, up 13 places to P4. So at least they'll get something out of this round with his terrible first race of a P17 finish. So not his usual finishing position, but making the most out of it for this feature race. But wider distance off the leaders at the moment. So these front two pulling away. Strom there 1.6 seconds behind Albert, and then a 5-second gap back to Godestad. Godestad and Christensen only 1 second between the two of them. So they'll probably be fighting over third place. But being teammates, be interesting to see what happens there. But Bo Albert, you know, obviously after his pit lane start from that first race, managing to get up to P10 in that race and having a really good, strong position in the start of the second race, which started in P4. So considering where he started, he's going to have a decent point total from this round.
Currently leading the AM class is Meisner. Leading the pro class and the overall is Bo Albert. You can take a look at the battle for 10th currently overall. Kessler, Mokes, and Dunstan. Dunstan with a bit of a mistake through Canada corner last time by. Saw him go a little bit too wide off and didn't go fully into the sand. Definitely dipped a couple tires into it as well. So down into P12 goes Dunstan. You can see that reflected in the lap time, losing about 3 seconds there. But Scott Mokes, great effort to start and a great effort all day. Unfortunately, not much to show for it. P11, definitely nothing to scoff at, but wanted a bit more up into the top 10. Has an opportunity to basically get a little bit further into the top 10 here with Max Kessler in front of him. We'll see if he's able to do that. But as they race through the moraine sweep and into turn number 5, not going to be close enough to make a move yet. As we are inside, 5 minutes to go. I believe next time by is going to be 2 laps to go for Bo Albert at the front. He's trying to walk away with his 3rd consecutive Pro Class victory of the season, as Meisner gets a little bit too overzealous on the throttle coming through turn number 8 and ends up off and into the grass. Down into 8th place he goes, as here comes Thiago Martau to try and fight for the spot.
Just little simple mistakes that Dennis Miles is making wrong that's putting pace. We saw him a great race, but overall he'll be happy with this. You know, he's put in a good showing. A couple of little mistakes that have cost him the AM win, and at the moment he's still winning the AM, but he's got Martin behind him after that absolute horrendous start that we saw him had. Started in P number 2 for this race and managing to get down to 24th position. So he's fought back extremely well to get himself up there for the AM win for this race too in P number 9. But certainly the big movers and shakers in this race. I mean, the biggest one is Chris Shorter, who's currently in P6, up 23 positions from the Impulse Racing driver car 133. Making that move there. Damien Harris just in front of him, up 19 places, and your biggest losers, Thomas Wangan down 20 places, Henry Stuttgart down 21, and Mikey Pollard down 21 as well after we saw him on his roof in turn number 3. So some big movers and shakers in this feature race, and it's always great to see, as we see on the timing tower there.
It will be white flag this time by. Great day for Christensen, Harris, and Shorter, who have worked their way a good bit up into those top spots. Kessler there as well. Great day for him. Luke McCowan had a good day, started with the heat race win today. Definitely not where he wanted to finish. Andy P18 as he's going to try and get around Salter here and to go up one more spot into P17 overall. But definitely not what the Logitech GLTC Sports machine wanted out of this race. It looked like he had so much potential coming in, and unfortunately is going to ultimately finish outside the top 10.
Yeah, definitely. But you know, you can't put it against these two guys. I think they tag team it. One of them wins one race, and the other one, the next one, wins the following race. And these Logitech GLTC Sport guys. So obviously we see Bo Albert at the front of the grid. Luke McCowan won the previous round, so you know they're absolutely dominant when it comes to winning these races. These guys. But one of the guys that is impressing me, like you said at the first, is Arias Germantas, currently in P7 for the moment. Let's just hope he's put enough fuel in it this time round to get over the line and not lose some more positions. But, a great day out for Germantas there in P7. Obviously finished P8 in the first race, but should have finished P3 at third. But having his own way at the moment. Got Dennis Meisner just behind him, and Martin who behind him. So it's going to be interesting this last lap of if he can keep hold of P number 7.
White flag for Bo Albert and Kim Strom at the front. You're on board with Dennis Meisner as he looks to try and get around Erajust Jomontes, who currently holds P7 on the racetrack. Meisner in hot pursuit. Can he use the slipstream of the front straightaway to his advantage? Getting a huge run. To the outside goes Meisner. Jomontes on the inside. Can Meisner hold it around the outside? No, he cannot. He can't complete the pass. He'll stay side by side. Can Jomontes fight back? Here comes Martau to join the fight, making it a 3-horse battle for P7 right now. As trying to go around is Meisner. He'll stay side by side. Jomontes not giving up, not giving him an inch. He will have to give way as he goes now to the back bumper of Meisner to try and give him a shove. Here comes Martel to the outside of Joe Montes to pick up another spot. Joe Montes fights on the inside. He'll be able to get around as the 222 goes wide. But as they run up the hill, Meisner holds on to P7. Joe Montes and Martel in pursuit. Joe Montes right on the back bumper. Can he make the move happen? Going down into turn 8. They go through Henry Downs and into the 8th turn at Road America. Meisner holds on to the spot. Joe Montes with a bit of momentum trying to get around, but up front, all the momentum currently is with Bo Albert at the front. Kim Strom, a great effort in their second start here in the series, just not going to be enough. Through turn 13 and through the final corner, turn 14 at Road America. The Logitech G-Altus Esports streak of pro class victories continues, and back to the top of the overall goes Bo Albert. He takes the win from Road America. 3 pro class victories in a row for the Australian.
Yeah, definitely. And Kim Strom gave him a good fight there, you know, just behind him. With Joe got a start in 3rd place, managed to keep that over Roger Christensen in 4th. I don't know why I keep saying Alan Christensen. It's not that name in my head as we watch this battle here. So Dennis Meiser managing to keep hold of 2nd place. So a great victory there, managing to get past Germantas on that last lap, with Martinu getting 2nd place in the feature race, with Kessler in 10th, Moxie in 11th, Winston getting the 3rd place on the Am Champ in 12th place, Wimbo 13th, Frisch 14th, Hinihaho managed to keep 15th, Luke McCowan down in a lonely 16th considering he won that first race. So had a lot of close battles there with Matthias Berg, so that was certainly one of the highlights for me in this round, was the battle between them two, but unfortunately spinning twice within that race. But what a great round of racing, you know, a lot of incidents, but some absolutely epic racing as well.
At the end, it is still Altus on top, with Bo Albert walking away with the win. The celebration begins for the 143 as he sits on the top step of the podium here from Road America. Kim Strom, Joe Vigard, Gotterstad, Roger Christensen, and Damian Harris, the top 5 when it was all said and done here in the feature. Chris Shorter, Dennis Meisner, Era Just Joe Montes, Keo Thiago Martau, and Max Kessler, the top 10. Great effort for Kessler and Impulse Racing, fighting up from P28 when they started this race to go up and into the 10th spot. Chris Shorter up 23 spots at the end. Damian Harris and Roger Christensen up 19 and 13 respectively. Great runs for them this afternoon as well, as Bo Albert continues to burn it down at turn number 5. 3rd straight pro class victory for him, and the 5th straight pro class victory for Logitech G-Altus Esports. We take a look at the full results now. Scott Mokes ends up P11, Ross Dunstan P12, Emil Vimbo, Marcel Fritsch with Jesse Heliaho, your top 15. Luke McCowan, Adam Starzinski, and Craig Salter, top 18. Back from there, P19 walking away with that finish is Martin Spalek with Dave Chadwick, rounding out your top 20. Yannick Hynet finishes P21, Thomas Wankin P22, Gordon Oberman, Henning Stuhlinger, and James Parker, your top 25, with Mikey Pollard, Mateus Burke, Cesar Cabral, Daniel Porter, Nikolay Polyakov, and Austin Neal, rounding out the 31 drivers who started this race here from Virtual Road America. And what a way to end the day, with Bo Albert back into victory lane. Andy, what a tough fight he had, from a pit lane start in the heat to starting P3 in the feature, just about immediately taking over that lead and not letting it go.
No, I mean, you can't stop the guy at the moment, you know. Pit lane starts, he had it all to do, managing to get it done, and then obviously coming out to win the feature race from starting from actually a hindrance there, as we saw, you know, with behind Martin, who literally did not get off the line. Bo Albert, literally, as we see on board here, you know, got fast right up behind him and managing to get out of the way. He's losing the place off the grid because of it, as we see, but still managing to get it done. There's, doesn't matter what you do to this guy, he seems to bounce back and bounce back really strong. And we did see in the feature race, which is obviously a stroke of luck for himself, was a lot of his contenders in the Pro Championship getting in a lot of incidents, so actually coming behind him in that feature race.
We do have a post-race interview lined up with P7 finisher Dennis Meisner, and he's standing by with our Andy Thompson.
Hi Dennis, welcome to the commentary booth. Obviously, I know you from the GT Am Days in Series 1, but obviously racing now in the Porsche Cup. I mean, what a day for you, mate. Getting the first, I think it's your first Am victory in this class?
It is. It's the first one.
So, how do you feel?
Oh, ecstatic. I'm just over the moon.
I mean, you had a really strong outing in your first race as well, but then obviously getting your second race to back it up. I mean, it's been a great points haul day for yourself.
Oh yeah, and I need it because I'm not gonna be able to attend next week. So it's really important to get some points. But I'm still stoked about it. I came into this race really doubting in myself, still adjusting on the setup through qualifying.
Well, it certainly didn't show on stream. You were constantly up the front end of the order for both the Heat 1 and obviously the feature race. I mean, how much practice have you put in this week to be able to see a complete change in your fortunes from previous rounds to this round?
About half of what I've used to.
So less is more, is that what you're saying?
Obviously, but yeah, I don't know. I always like the track, and I just love the car, and it feels so much home at this track.
Definitely.
So
I mean,
I guess it all just came together for me today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, you say you're going to miss Motegi the next round, but I mean, to get up there and get your first Am win within the series has got to be the highlight of your season so far.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just the fact to get a double podium finish, I don't think I'm gonna be able to back that up.
You put a challenge on your head now that you've got to do that. So obviously, miss you in round number 6, but come back strong in round number 7. And obviously, from a personal note, knowing you and battling quite hard in that first GT Trophy season that we had, I know you very well. So I'm over the moon for you myself, mate. So yeah, good luck today with getting your 2 podium finishes. Before we let you go, mate, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, the guys back in the team supporting me all the time with great energy. Just keeps the spirit up when I'm about to lose it.
Well, you certainly didn't lose it today, mate, so congratulations on your first Am victory in the race and a P7 finish overall. So look forward to seeing you in round number 7.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to come back for sure.
Good luck, mate, and congratulations today.
Thank you.
That was Dennis Meisner there, obviously getting an Am victory in race 1, and I think he got a 2nd or 3rd in race 1, and obviously winning the Am Championship there in the feature race. So great on. But it looks like we got Bo Albert for you here, Josh, in the booth. So I'll leave him to you.
Yeah, another pro class win and back to the top step of the podium when it comes to overall finishes as well for Bo Albert and Logitech G Altus Esports. Bo, let's talk about that first race. Firstly here with the pit lane start. You avoided a little bit of the carnage at the front and then just kind of drove your way through that. What was the experience like in that heat race, having to start from the pit lane, knowing that you can only go up from there and having to just slowly click off cars, much like you did last week at Road Atlanta in the feature?
Yeah, it wasn't an easy one, and it was definitely a sort of a different approach going into this, because obviously I knew that race 2 would be an invert as well, so I sort of just knew that if I could get myself into a strong enough position, that, you know, I could still salvage a good result despite the pit lane start. So the goal in the first race was definitely just max attack. Any position I could go for, I would. Did have contact on lap 1. I got hit quite hard in the back of my car by, I think, Max Kessler. I'm sure it wasn't anything sketchy or anything. It was just an unfortunate sort of lap 1 deal, but that threw me off the road. And I thought maybe it was game over from there already on the first lap. So lucky to get away with that one. but got my head down despite a bit of frustration at that point, and yeah, very, very lucky to bring it home in the top 10.
And with that feature race as well, looked relatively easy for you at that start to just get away at the line quick and get up to the front. And even with a lot of challenging at the front, at the end of the day, it was still you in the front. What does this say about Logitech GLT Esports and you as a driver when it comes to these Porsches? Obviously, we've seen Altis try and go through the Porsche Tacor Esports Super Cup ladder and race in the top step of Porsche competition on iRacing. Does this say more about the team and that they can build strong cars and that you guys can run up front, or does it say more about you as a driver that you have that talent to run at the front?
Oh, absolutely. It's a team effort. There's no way that this would be happening, me by myself. And, me and Luke are the ones that sort of get to drive the cars, but there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. In fact, a big shout out as well to Yannick Lapshin, one of our drivers who actually built the setup me and Luke both used in today's race. So it is a team effort. It's something we're all focusing on quite hard to make that next step in the Porsches, because we felt like we were always a step behind when it came to the old Cup car. So for this new one, we've really sort of upped the ante a little bit, try and push onto that. And as well, we have 3 drivers, Jordan Caruso, Cooper Webster, and Carlos Fenalosa, all competing in the Porsche Contender Series as well at the moment. So for Altis as a team, definitely there is a very big influence going on at the moment to get into this Porsche, figure it out. And at the moment, this Apex Racing League is just the perfect testbed for us.
Going into the next round from Motegi, where's your confidence level at? Do you think that you can get another fast car from the team and that you can walk away with yet another victory? Because Motegi is a bit of a odd circuit out when it comes to the rest of the calendar.
It absolutely is, and I also feel like Motegi has this reputation as what I would say in Australia is a Vegemite track. Is you either love it or you absolutely hate it, and I actually am on team love Motegi. I think it is a phenomenal circuit, does not get the appreciation that it deserves, and I could be upside down on my roof at turn 1 next week and I'd still be happy. I think it's a great track. And I'm absolutely looking forward to it. And to answer your first question, I think absolutely we can have a strong car there and, hopefully continue this run of race wins.
Well, Bo, thank you so much for joining us here in the commentary booth post-race, and congratulations on yet another Pro Class win and yet another overall win here in the series as well.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Thanks a lot. A big shout out to everyone who works on these broadcasts. I know a lot of work goes into them as well. And also want to give a special shout out as well to all my mates for support in the past week. It's not been easy. And a special thank you as well to my gorgeous girlfriend, Katie, for all her support as well.
Thank you so much for joining us here. That is Bo Albert, your winner overall in Pro Class here from Virtual Road America. And just like that, time to wrap up this broadcast. But make sure that you join us in 1 week's time from Virtual Twin Ring Motegi for round number 6 of the championship. Can Bo Albert go right back to victory lane, and can Logitech GLT Esports continue their winning ways? For Samuli Kuma, for Andy Thompson, my name is Joshua Lee. Thank you for joining us for round 5 of the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship as we say good night from Virtual Road America.